Welcome to Gen X Rated Thursday edition. You made it back, Billy. I'm impressed.
Yeah. Made it back. That was quite the long intro there.
I know I didn't show that it was rolling, but once the music started, I knew we were in for it.
Oh, it was rolling.
Could you hear it?
Yeah.
Fantastic. All right.
22
Wow.
seconds worth. Like, are we going to start this or what is this? What are we doing here? Are we a
Normally you
jam band
complain
now?
it's not enough. Now it's too much. Okay.
Yeah, come on.
Censor me.
All right, Kimmel.
Yeah. What did you think about that? I guess that's really the biggest story today. Would be.
I thought it was outrageous. I thought it was also horrifying. I mean, it's just outright censorship. He didn't say anything, completely off base. He didn't say anything disrespectful. He didn't say anything hateful. Um, but again, this is the world we're living in now. It started with Colbert, and we're we're not only on the road to fascism. We're there. These people are really in control. They are using this as an excuse to put everything into motion. They're flooding the zone with all kinds of bullshit. I mean, we're seeing all kinds of different things now that are extremely fishy. Um, $1.2 million payment from a Zionist billionaire to the father of the supposed shooter, the accused shooter. I mean, what's that all about?
It seems weird, and then it goes into the people's, Congress as well, where you have to listen to Marjorie Taylor Greene talk smack on this kid and say that he was not MAGA, which they get extremely offended if you think he's a right wing anything, uh, and that he was definitely a left leaning person, which seems ridiculous if you looked at his family at all.
Hmm.
I don't think that was his thing. But then they like to continue on and say things about the fact that he was into a furry and a trans, is what Marjorie Taylor Greene went on to say. Um, why is this even going on in our House of Representatives? It's just
Because
unnecessary.
it's a clown show in there. Uh, yeah, it's just a clown show. There's nothing else to be said. It's a fucking clown show. Um, yeah, we're in a pretty bad spot right now. It's a really slippery slope, and there's no sign of any of this slowing down now. I mean, people are upset, people are not happy, but what's next? Are you going to go after hate speech? I mean, the people committing the hate speech are mostly on the right. I mean,
Yeah.
and look at Nick Fuentes and his followers. Those are some very violent, hateful people, allegedly.
Yeah. I mean, you can start tying these things together. So you have the Marjorie Taylor Greene saying he's not MAGA, not one bit, and then going after his relationship with a furry or trans, which is, he's part of Antifa. And my question to you was, why is that going on in the House of Representatives? But I almost answered my own question. She brought up Antifa, which, why don't you give me a little background on Antifa, Billy?
Not a thing, man. It's just anti-fascist. It's not an organization. It's not a group. It's just people that are against fascism. And yeah, it's like the people that stormed the beach at Normandy. Those were anti-fascists. They were fighting fascism. So yeah, this is all just some made up shit. And they're talking about, oh, we can't have people with masks going out and terrifying people. Well, yeah, you do. You have them. They're called ICE. People that are
Exactly.
showing up and breaking down doors and knocking over old people and yanking people off the streets out of their cars with masks over their face and no ID. So
Some
it's
people
it's
have ended
just
up dead. Hmm.
yeah,
Hmm.
it's like dealing with spoiled children. Everything has to be their way. They're overly sensitive to anything that's said. Anything they don't like is hate speech.
Super thin
Um,
skin.
but they can say the most horrible things. I mean, Jimmy Kimmel gets suspended, yet you have a Fox anchor advocating for the euthanization of homeless people. No
Yeah.
slap on the wrist, no apology, nothing. I mean, this is just ridiculous. People have lost their jobs because they commented, KKK Caroline telling employers, you have to let people print out Charlie Kirk flyers at work if they want to. I've worked at places where you're not allowed to print out any personal things.
Yeah. Go to Kinkos.
So, I
Not
mean,
a huge deal.
this is government overreach, of course, but when they do it, it's fine.
Attorney General Bondi also jumped in, and these companies need to do this, they need to do that. Last I checked, they're allowed to do whatever they want. They own the company. It's not a government company. They didn't give 10% of their, stock to the government. So, stay in your lane, as they like to say. I just want to mention what Kimmel actually said, and people can judge if they didn't see it themselves. But he said the MAGA gang is desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them, and doing everything they can to score political points from it. That's all he said. That was
Yeah. I mean, nothing in his background suggests any kind of anti-MAGA activity.
God.
So just the email chain that between him and his supposed lover and roommate was ridiculous.
Oh my God.
Texts like that. It was just insane. Calling a cop car a squad car. It sounds like it was written by law enforcement.
Did you do it? I did it, my love.
I did it by the like get the fuck out of here. Are you kidding me with that?
So ridiculous.
Inscribing on bullets.
No.
No, nobody does that.
Not a thing. What I did, just to tie it up with the Marjorie Taylor Greene thing, was that today Trump designated Antifa as a major terrorist organization. So that's kind of the tie-in. Why did she say that in Congress? Because here it comes. Oh, wait, Trump's spoken. He wants an executive order immediately about these, anti-fascists. How dare they?
Yeah, this is dangerous. I mean, this guy's been empowered and he's just gobbling up more and more, and nobody is going to do anything to stop him.
Well, if you ever had a family member that served in, obviously World War I is a long time ago. World War II probably is a bit of a stretch, but they were fighting the Nazis. They were resisting the fascists. So I don't know when they corralled that term for their own and made it their own. But at the same time, the FBI is taking their reports down that we saw for many years, as far as the research showing that white supremacists are now the group that's the greatest threat to our democracy.
Yeah.
We knew that they had a department under Obama to look into this, because there's a lot of militia, there's a lot of white supremacy in our country that used to be under, wraps a little bit until this president decided that they would be great in his camp. So let's take that down. We don't need to be doing any looking into those hate groups, because, well, I think it's pretty obvious why, because they're white.
Because they're white and they're, it's like Trump's little stormtroopers, really.
More or less,
yeah.
along with ICE, for sure. So Brendan Carr, let me throw him up there. He is the FCC chairperson. Here he is here. He's also somebody that was one of the authors of Project 2025. Whoa, surprise. What's happening here? But he is the one that went on a talk show prior to yesterday's dismissal of Kimmel and said how it's a concerted effort to try and lie to the American people, attempt to play into the narrative that somehow a MAGA or Republican was a motivated person to carry this out, type of thing. And then within how many hours, Kimmel's been suspended, or however you want to approach it. He won't be back on the air until he gives a donation to Charlie's foundation and apologizes publicly, which good luck with that.
Yeah, fuck that. Why should he? And again, they this is what they do. They will accuse other people of doing exactly what they do, because what you just said is exactly what he's doing.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
They do it. It's not hard to figure out, and you'd have to be just fucking completely blind not to see it. But this is a cult.
Well, and part of 2025 is to regulate free speech as they see fit.
As they see fit. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Free speech for me, but not for thee, essentially. And who gives them the right? Where do they claim that power? Because
and it's having this ripple effect. I mean, I saw a barista at Starbucks in California had refused somebody. They didn't ask at the register for a name, but when she went to the barista, said, "Hey, can you put Charlie Kirk on my cup?" And she said, well, we can't do anything political. I'm sorry. I could put Charlie on it if you want it. And she stormed off in a huff. I don't want this drink, whatever. So, of course, because of the environment that we're in, Starbucks had to come out and say, hey, she was wrong. The barista didn't have it right. You can put anybody's name on there if you want to put Charlie Kirk, but we've had, some political slogans that weren't exactly something you wanted announced, or, there's always the famous, give me an example.
Mike Hunt.
Maybe Mike Hunt.
Venti latte for Mike Hunt.
Exactly. So I get that. But again, we bend the knee to say, hey, she was wrong. You can put Charlie Kirk on anything, T-shirt, mugs, whatever you want, because he was this amazing person, apparently, that not all of us got to see that side of him. We talked about this last night. Yesterday, they put out a whole, it was 6.5 minutes of clips of his show talking about, in particular, Black people. And I was able to get through about 2.5 minutes. It was just too much. And it was pretty hate-filled, and it was very derogatory, and it was demeaning and hurtful and offensive, and fill in the blank. I don't know the guy. I didn't listen to his spiel, but in looking at the clips, that was not somebody that I would say, hey, this guy's a martyr, or to put him on the level of somebody like MLK or JFK is ridiculous. I'm sorry. It is.
Well, it is. I mean, and just that statement, well, if I get on a plane and I see it's a Black pilot, I hope he's qualified. Like, you can't be a DEI underqualified person and become a pilot. It just doesn't work that way. To even fly up to get your private pilot license requires a lot of training, so many hours. And then to be hired by an airline, it's, even more training, more simulator. Oh, I hope he didn't crash 50% of the time in the simulator. To even be in the simulator, you have to be highly qualified. It takes a lot. So yeah, there's no DEI surgeons, there's no DEI pilots. It does not work that way. And yet people want to believe this. They think that they're being victimized and somebody that doesn't look like them is getting ahead. And it's just ridiculous. It's just, I don't know. It's un-American. I thought the spirit of America was to, be the best and the brightest. But apparently, it's just like, well, these people love to play the victim card. Well, we're being victimized. The world's against me. Well, no, maybe other people are catching up. Maybe other people are taking advantage of their opportunities. Maybe you need to be better.
For sure. And it's funny you'd say that, because it kind of dawned on me as I was listening to it, that maybe that's where this whole DEI thing came from. I was a little surprised when it first started, and Target was like, oh, we're going to change our policy. We're not, it started with them. It moved on to the next company, And I never really understood it. I don't think, as we talked about this over months and months, that any of us really understood why that was such a bad thing. Those 3 letters seem to stand for a lot of positive things, not hey, we're bringing you up because you're a certain color or a woman or fill in the blank. It just doesn't make any sense.
No, it's just giving people the opportunity. And it's good for corporations too. I mean, you increase your pool of candidates, applicants, people that maybe, you wouldn't have seen that are extremely qualified or can do a really good job. So,
and it's a global economy. Like you're dealing, our friend of the show, Tim, if you don't think he was setting his alarm so he could have a conference call with China at, 3 a.m. type of thing, it takes all shades, it takes all people, it takes all types. And if you're qualified, you're qualified. It's not about, hey, that white guy in Missouri is being done wrong on a global scale. Like it just, I don't know where it came from. I wish it would go away, but it seems to be here, and just it really incites people, and I just don't get it.
I don't get it either. And it's just, we're withdrawing from the world order. We're not interested in that. We're busy making America great again.
Well, I have a list of great things that are going on that you might have missed.
It's like the Princess Bride. I don't think you know what that word means, because this is far from great.
Yeah. Oh, it's super terrific. Great, I think, is what you meant to say.
Well, if you're a white Christian billionaire or you're a big corporate shareholder, yeah, it's super terrific. But if you're just a regular American, it's not so great. I mean, rising inflation, rising grocery
I
costs,
know.
rising utility costs.
I'm going to push back on all those things because Trump was in the UK giving a description of our economy and how amazing things are. We will talk about that coming up. I just want to tie this together with Carr, what the real importance is of this, and why Disney was so quick to bend the knee. Nexstar wants to buy their rival, Tegna, for $6.2 billion. These are two media giants. They would be the owner of the largest local television stations. They want to add to that. This guy would be open to this. What it would take, though, is FCC approval. There's a cap which states that no company can own enough TV stations to reach over 39% of households. That 39% is supposed to keep a fairly level playing field. We all know about Sinclair. You know, they have a giant, they're in 100 markets. They're a separate story. But the point is, Carr, with the knee bending, might be willing to waive this. And he's already said he's willing to waive this cap on 39%. Again, I don't think that really does anything for us. But hey, this is why we do it. Hey, we get rid of Kimmel, we get this deal through, we have more influence over 39% of the households that are, you know, tuned into this crappy TV.
Yeah, it's like something straight out of The Godfather, you know. Yeah, I'm happy to do you this favor, and you know, the day may come when I ask you to do a little favor for it. It may not come, but it may come. It's just
It
again,
might.
yeah, it just might. It's the same deal, man. It's like just you know, everything's transactional now, as long as they get their way.
Well, they definitely got to dip the beak, and then you get what
Hmm.
you want. There's no doubt. So we'll see if that deal goes through. I think it's a slam dunk now because why not?
Sure,
Um,
now that the FCC's on board, I mean, this is just it's outrageous.
and Trump's the biggest baby of them all. He officially asked for Ilhan Omar to be removed from Congress. Um, you know, they tried to, I guess she's been censured, which is really nothing. But they did try and you know, they took a vote on expelling her. That wasn't something that was going to happen. You know, you got to think about this. She was elected by her constituents. This is their problem. If they don't like her leadership, if they don't like the direction that she's taking them, that's their right as a
Mhm.
state, as her, you know, populace to get rid of her. It's not Trump's thing to make some kind of, you know, go to the Supreme Court or however he wants to go and do it. It sounds ridiculous and just un-American. My God.
It is, but he thinks he's a king.
Well, he's
He
pissed.
really he
He's
really
pissed
does.
because all the late night people, all they do is rip on Trump. They just hit on Trump. Can't do that. Okay. He said they're licensed and they're not allowed to do this. Um, that right there is a misstatement. It's not a thing.
Yeah. So it's very worrisome. This is concerning. We are definitely it feels like we're through the looking glass now.
I just want to give a list of what our media looks like under Trump and his allies, which are basically billionaires. They own X, also known as Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, TikTok, Fox, CBS, Washington Post, Wall Street Journal, New York Post, and then you have Sinclair, which we just talked about, 200 TV stations, local news in 100 markets, and they'll tell you what free speech is from here on out.
Yeah, we'll decide. We'll see. We'll see what you can say and what you can't say. We'll let you know.
And we would see that around Christmas time. They would do clips of all the local broadcasts at local news, and they would say, you know, they'd all repeat the same script. It would be in a different dialect, depending if you're in the Northeast or the Southeast or the West, but it was
Mhm.
the same script, and it was just eerie and
It is
weird.
eerie. It's very 1984 Big Brother-ish.
It definitely is. Um, and we just get into weirder and weirder places. I'm going to put her up here now. Um, she's very protective of our Trumpy. I think we
Uh
all know what that signal means, but we won't go.
huh.
Um, but she went on social media to talk about the earthquake in Utah, which on the same day that Kirk was killed, there was a 4.1 um, earthquake that had hit the Utah area. She said that God was angry about this shooting death. And then she takes it another step further. I'm not very religious, and I'm certainly not. I'm not a Christian to that point, but I'm okay with faith, and I appreciate the people that have faith. But when you get into the weeds of this, saying that the time of the earthquake, which was 745, ties into the biblical Acts 7, verse 57 of Saint Stephen being stoned to death, now you're taking me into a weird place.
That's a very weird place. It's Handmaid's Tale weird.
Very creepy. And then, you
Mm-hmm.
look at comments like this from Trump. It's that face, that brain, those lips, the way they move. Like this is getting weird. Really, really weird.
Really, really weird.
And again, it's a it's her Instagram. I'm not telling anybody what they can or can't do, but look at the position you have at the podium before you start putting that kind of speak out. It's just not great. It's not great for everybody. You're supposed to be the press secretary that tells all of America, not just, hey, you guys know what I'm talking about. Because I didn't. Like, explain.
Yeah.
Or leave that out completely. Two choices.
Yeah. It's just
weird.
It's absurd.
So
again, this is, there's supposed to be a separation of church and state.
They don't believe that anymore.
No, they don't.
Anyone's saying that.
They really don't. We're a Christian nation. Yeah, no, we're not.
The founding fathers were so into Christ.
No, they weren't. They were more into slave owning, but they were all about the liberty for the white man.
Yeah, for sure. Here's a weird thing. Tucker Carlson came out and said that Kirk's killing is being used by MAGA to trample the First Amendment. Wow.
Dude, when we agree with Tucker Carlson on something, we are definitely through the looking glass. That is so bizarre.
It's pretty crazy. He better beef up his security a little bit too, okay?
Yeah.
One never knows.
It's interesting that you're seeing this, this division on the right. You're seeing the group, what are they called? The Goyists or whatever, that think that, that MAGA is not radical enough.
Insane.
Yeah, it really is.
Crazy.
It's pretty horrifying. And the lengths that you can assume that some of these people are willing to go to,
Well, it's pretty horrific. And then you stumble back into the us and them. And next thing you know, ICE is filling up the Louisiana State Penitentiary. We're making deals. We talked about this the other day, just about the prison system down there, the history of violence at Angola.
Mm-hmm.
And now it was horrific. But let me go to, there she is. Louisiana lockup, baby. So they're going to reopen Camp J, which is offensive to a lot of people. It's a history of brutality and violence, generally against Black people or poor people, in the very least. The executive order came from their governor, Jeffrey Landry, who declared a state of emergency because they're out of bed space for violent offenders because we're filling it with all these ICE people. I'm sure there's money that comes with this.
Oh, I'm sure.
The order, Camp J was basically like a dungeon. It was one of the first places that had extended solitary confinement. It could be years that they left you there. Pretty horrifying, to say the least.
Cruel and unusual punishment?
Yes, that does sound cruel and unusual. 1951, you had dozens of prisoners that slashed their own Achilles tendon just to protest the brutality at this facility. And now we're bringing it back like it's this amazing thing, right? Like, hey, look at this place. Wow, it was once so great.
Yeah, let's make horrible punishment great again. Put that on your big hat there, Christy Gnome.
Or maybe on your bumper sticker or license plate for Louisiana. So Louisiana is now going to become the national hub for immigrant detentions and deportations. The sheriffs around the area have all signed contracts with ICE to allow them to use their jail space to detain people. We don't know if you're an immigrant or not, but we're going to detain you. First question to ask, am I being detained? Yes. And then they become the second largest immigration detention population next to Texas. Texas, of course, is #1, baby.
Wow. Well, everything's bigger and better in Texas.
For sure. And they had a head start. Isn't that where the camp was that they put Japanese Americans? Was that in Texas?
Yeah.
Where was that?
It was, I think they were in like Montana, Wyoming.
I wanted to say Utah, but
Utah, yeah. Yeah, no, they may have sent people to Texas. I don't know, but the ones that I had heard about, they were up in the Mountain West.
okay. Well, that would make sense. I do know that with the help of their senator, that Texas started building right away. I know in West Texas, they've got some giant facilities. That's why they're able to house so many people. Florida's going to be building their new one up north since Alligator Alcatraz didn't stick. Well, it worked because $250 million of Floridians' taxes paid somebody unknown. And I'm sure it went to the governor as well for a little kickback. But we're not able to use that anymore because it was such a nightmare.
Well, I think I think that ruling was overturned. I think the state challenged it, and I think they got that ruling overturned.
I did not see that it was overturned.
I saw that a while ago, I think. I don't know.
There's
I don't
no
know
way. Yes, DeSantis was going to file an appeal, but I don't think anything's been ruled on, and I don't know how it could be. That place was a problem environmentally, and just for decency's sake, it was not.
Oh my God, yeah.
Not a great thing. So, Christina, get back to leg day and stop torturing people, please. That would be awesome.
Seriously.
I wanted to move on to Trump's big visit. He had some interesting things to say. They showed him get onto the grounds of the castle, and he was walking side by side with a guy with a giant hat. Generally, those guys are not allowed to speak. You always see on video people trying to get those guys to react or to say something. They're not allowed to. But you can see here Trump's doing his best, and he was walking arm in arm with one guy as King Charles was 10 paces behind them. Like,
it's very nasty. He won't talk to me. I don't know why he won't talk to me. Nasty, nasty man. Nasty big hat.
Nasty man with his hat on. Here's the king. He doesn't look super comfortable in that carriage ride. I can only imagine what the smell is.
Open a window, please.
Please. I'm dying in here. His eyes seem to be tearing up quite a bit. Here he is with a big smile. Trump said he was the first to be invited there, which I think there was a list of presidents that went 9 deep that have all gone there. But yeah he's the first.
Ugh.
And it just went on from there. I mean, it's just more gaslighting. It's even harder to see when it's overseas because that everybody over there already knows that he's lying.
Oh yeah, I mean, I saw the videos of the people chanting and singing the Donald Trump song. They want to know why you're such a cunt, Donald Trump. Their words, not mine.
Which you're allowed to say in English.
Or sing.
It's a saying. So
well, they were singing it to those words to a popular song.
Yes. So just to tell a few of his tales, which were amazing. The economy is going to be fantastic in a year. Just wait. Car companies are moving back. Factories are being built. Inflation is gone. Energy costs are way down. I think all of that's fake and false. But he just talks about it. He did mention wanting to go back to Afghanistan. He wants to put troops back there. I know they blame Biden, but Trump was the one that made the deal that forced Biden's hand, that he had to go by that treaty to pull the troops out on a certain date, which was masterminded by Trump. And I think we all recall that he took the terrorist organization to Camp David because, it's not 9/11 anymore. And the Saudis are our friends. And if you didn't know that, maybe you should have seen Tom Brady signing a deal with the one of the princes from Saudi Arabia. They're going to do flag football.
I saw that. Brady's he's back, baby. He's making a comeback.
Now, the NFL did come in and say that this is a team by team thing, and it's nothing to do with the league. They have not approved players to play in this money fight. But geez, of all people, I really didn't think Tom Brady would need it the most. But how do you think he stays so young?
Yeah, right. And well, and now he also wants to be up in the box with a headset,
I
which
saw
as
that.
an owner is kind of a conflict of interest. But mhm.
Well, he broadcasts the game, right? And he gets all the information, and he has access to the other teams, and he is a part owner of the Raiders. And next thing you know, he's in the Raider coaching box, doing whatever. I mean, he's a great football mind. Maybe he should step out of broadcasting and go full time football.
Yeah,
Something. It doesn't seem right. I would see where teams would have a problem with that, but
mhm.
he did learn under Belichick, and when you're miking up the pads of your division rivals to get the cadences and stuff, you're pretty deep in the weeds there of cheating. So
Oh yeah, it seems to be kind of ingrained there.
let's not forget old Tiny Hands with his deflated balls, Deflate Gate, but not Tom Brady. He's a U.S. Or he's an American legend.
Listen, great quarterback, man, a student of the game, super dedicated, super driven, but you know, let's keep it fair.
Absolutely. But it's Tom's world. So more with Trump. The whole point of going back to Afghanistan is because it's an hour drive from where China produces nuclear weapons. I don't know what kind of strategic mind that is, but I don't know if I'd want to be putting a bunch of troops that close to nuclear warfare, unless he knows something we don't know. Um, he was asked a question about Gaza because they're continuing to bomb the crap out of that place. Call it what you want. Most people refer to it as genocide. But a gentleman asked
Bernie
him,
Sanders did. Yeah, he came out and said the G
he,
word.
he's the first. Absolutely right. Somebody asked him, a British reporter, about stopping the war in Gaza, and he gave him this stern look, and then he said, "Do you remember October 7th?" And then he went into his rant about babies being chopped up and the worst people ever, and it just went on like that.
Yeah,
So go ahead.
but the outrage only goes to one side. That's the crazy thing. In response to that, which was a horrific attack, it was terrible. But the response to that has been way out of proportion. It's still going on. Hospitals bombed, families murdered, children murdered, people starved to death, people trying to find food picked off by snipers. I mean,
Admitted by snipers that they were doing it.
yeah, journalists killed. I mean, you're seeing a full on. Yeah, I think it's pretty safe to apply the genocide word.
Well, and much like all the theater that we live in these days, there was talk, and I know we had this conversation with Gino, but they knew ahead of time that they were going to come in on these gliders. They knew ahead of time Netanyahu needed some type of event, 9/11 ish, to
Hmm.
do this. So, there's got to be a happy truth somewhere in the middle. But it's really hard to trust that guy who seems to be a war criminal and an awful person. In fact, when he flew here from Israel, he had to fly around Europe because he will be arrested as a war criminal if he lands. I know the Italian prime minister came out with that comment. Um, it's just known, and it's doing a lot of it's killing our economy as well because we support this guy. Obviously, it goes back to Epstein, would be my guess,
Hmm.
as an educated guess, but we're losing a lot of defense contracts because of it. We
Yeah.
talked about Portugal the other day. Yeah, there's Denmark. You're talking about billions of dollars not going to U.S. companies as he's making up stories about all these factories that are being built. Look around in your community. Tell me about these factories that are being built. I'm not
Oh
seeing
yeah. Well, now he's also trying to take credit for the Biden's infrastructure bill.
only the ones that are continuing being funded because they're almost done.
Yeah.
Yeah, to the point where he's putting up his sign over the Biden sign.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I mean, I'm not saying Biden was the best president ever, but he was a decent man. He did some good things. He got some good stuff through. And I think I think it's sad to see the way he's being treated. I mean, when he announced that he had, an aggressive form of prostate cancer, they didn't even offer thoughts and prayers. They did the same shit that they're going after people for, calling out Charlie Kirk on, you
Yeah,
know? So yeah, it's pathetic. It's undignified. These aren't serious people. I mean, this is just it's hateful, it's spiteful, and it's just duplicitous.
Well, we mentioned that we said that yeah, I mean, there's just no answer to their rationale, and it can't really be fixed unless we kind of unify to what the truth is, because these stories just blow up and they continue, and it's made up nonsense. Um, the truth is, he's saying the economy is raging, but the dollar has lost 10% of its value just this year alone in 2025. Rural hospitals due to Medicaid cuts in Georgia, labor and delivery closing. Now, if you're going to have a child, you better plan this out because it's going to be at least an hour drive. We've talked about the tourists not coming here anymore. Foreign tourists are not coming, in particular to Vegas. So now you have Vegas's mayor who's begging Canadians and Mexicans to come to their state. Come,
Yeah.
we need you.
No way.
And then foreign central banks now own more gold than U.S. Treasuries, and that's the first time in 30 years. So, if your idea is to wreck the economy, so you billionaires can be the only people standing, it's working.
Yeah. Mission
Great job.
accomplished.
Great job, but maybe just keep it on the QT about all the great things. He said gas under $2, not a thing.
Not a thing.
You know, drill baby drill, energy costs. Then he tells the European Union and the UK of how terrible you know, windmills are, or solar power, or, you know, tell that to President Xi, because he's doubling and tripling down on all those things. You know, we had energy independence, but it wasn't enough, and then we lie about it so we can drill some more. And what exactly does that do? It puts money into certain people's pockets, and it's polluting our environment beyond belief.
Yeah, they don't care. He doesn't care. He's also managed to drive India into the arms of China.
Yeah, and a little bit of Russia too, huh?
Yeah, I mean, we had a long-standing, alliance with India, but everything Trump touches, man, he is the reverse King Midas.
Well, with Voice of America being diminished, I think that 2 of the 4 remaining languages are Afghanistan languages. Great. But the fact of the matter is, our message of soft power is not getting out to anybody overseas. So the Russians are really good about this. The Chinese are amazing at it. They bombard you with false information. And we've decided to go the other way and just allow it.
Yeah, well, all of our propaganda now is being aimed at the folks at home.
Yeah. Oh, the left wing, they're horrible people. To your point about his indifference, I just want to put up this visual. This was him on Air Force One today. After he wrapped up his Lie Fest, he said, "Fly safely." And people were like, huh. And he's like, "You know why I said that?" He said, "Because I'm on the flight. Otherwise, I don't care."
Yeah, and it's true. He didn't. That's one thing he didn't lie about. He does not care.
Who says that?
Trump.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
weird thing to say. He did mention that to the UK gentleman that the Ukraine doesn't really care about that either, because it doesn't affect the US. He said it barely affects you guys, but I guess you're closer. We have an ocean in between. That's not how it works, man.
That's not how it works.
They're not, they're not stunted because we're an ocean away. Like, I don't even understand how dumb you could be to say things like that.
Yeah, it just it's mind-boggling.
It really is. So that was a lot of Trump, to say the least. His people are still doing his dirty work, as far as Kristi Noem, obviously making the rounds. And the stuff's not going to go away with Epstein. I hope everybody's aware of that it's still there. As you talked about pre-production, they need 218 votes in the House. They have 217 now because of a special election that just went off. There's one more coming up in Arizona where the Democrat will win. We'll be at the 218 number. And then we're going to start to see this information. You can't hide it forever. Mm-hmm. You can listen to Kash Patel tell you that there was no trafficking of women outside of to himself, which doesn't make any sense. And by that, I mean Epstein. Come on. These victims have real stories. Every time they asked him if he would meet with them, he said, sure, somebody from the FBI, but he takes no accountability, and he needs to watch out because Crockett is on her game. She comes prepared and she comes with notes. So
Mm-hmm.
when she mentioned that she had a bit of disbelief to see that Cash Patel had no FBI experience, he didn't bring coffee to them. He did nothing for the involvement in the FBI to become the top guy. It's the first time ever they've had somebody not associated with the FBI running it, and I think we know why.
Yeah, and he's cleaned out a lot of the longtime FBI hierarchy for no reason because they didn't pass the loyalty test.
That's right.
I mean, he fired the head of the Salt Lake City office, who was highly competent, highly decorated, weeks before the shooting,
Well, and I
because she
wonder
was a
why.
woman.
I mean, we saw the crime scene. They cleaned that thing up super fast. We saw some. I mean, there's so much video of that. I mean, try and sift through what you can, but from the acoustics of the shot that people were measuring, what the distance would be to some of the locations of some of the security people, to the hand gestures. I mean, there's just a lot going on here. Let's
Mhm.
not just chalk it up to this transgender loving person was a horrible leftist and did this to Charlie. I mean, it's just not that neat.
It's not that neat, no, but they're trying to, package it all into a pretty little package that benefits themselves in their efforts to just, foment more division, crack down more on civil liberties, and just spread more hate. It's insane.
Well, we're definitely seeing a ton of that. Nobody can really, and you'd like to think it's splintering that group, uh, but I just don't know that it is because I think they have a common thread, which is hate, and
Hmm.
they're willing to set aside things like this for that. I mean, they're having a big hoodoo about Charlie, where we have most of our representatives are going to be showing up there, and I find that somewhat offensive. You have not only Noam and Bondi and JD Vance, but you also have your Secretary of State Rubio, and you have the president. Though I'll believe it when I see it if he actually makes it there, because he says a lot of things and does very
Hmm.
little. Push came to shove, he was golfing. Okay, let's be honest, all about him.
Oh, yeah, it always is. But yeah, I mean, they've really made a martyr out of this guy.
And it's a great distraction. And again,
Hmm.
let's go back to what they're trying to hide. Marjorie Taylor Greene and her block of Congress wants this information put out there. I think the victims deserve it, and I think the American public as a whole um, should see the information. Judge for yourself. Hey, if that's what you're into, fine. But let's not protect them and then not allow us to make our own decision as to how horrible some of these people are.
Yeah, and again, if there's nothing to hide, why is this so adamant? Why are they so hell-bent on keeping this hidden and tucked away?
It's mind-boggling. I mean, there's enough photographs, there's enough video, there's enough victim statements, there's enough victims alive. This is real, and this is something that has to come out. I feel like, frighteningly enough, this is the only thing that's going to correct all this misdirection that we have. We're never going to be able to unify, which is great for our enemies.
Hmm.
And you can call China and Russia enemies. If they had the opportunity to take your house away, they would. Uh, no second thoughts. Um, and we're doing the heavy lifting for them at this point because we are never going to agree on anything until we can get some truth. And this would be a great place to start. This has been going on for a long time. Left, right, and center have terrible people. People in general, should be held accountable for this. Whether it's Clinton, whether it's Trump, whether it's Bill Gates, I really don't care. But these victims deserve better. And as a nation, this could be get us some traction to getting back to some normalcy where your justice system isn't run by the Supreme Court, which is terrible. They already
Hmm.
gave this guy carte blanche. B, you have Bondi, who all this started down in Florida at Mar-a-Lago and with Epstein on her watch.
Oh,
This
yeah.
guy was busted. He was allowed with Maxwell, as we talked about, to decide what the charges should be, so that he could still continue his escapades in his office because he's such a businessman, and he was
Hmm.
continuing to rape children. So, um, it's not okay. But I think this is what it's going to take to really get us going in a direction together, because we can't do this apart. It has to be a unified front.
Yeah, and again, I mean, just like Tucker Carlson, when I agree with Marjorie Taylor Greene over something, I mean, things are pretty off the rails.
Absolutely. So we'll continue to watch that, because it's not going away. And
Mm-mm.
they flooded these distractions, from Trump's travels to the UK lying, to the economy that they're crashing, which is also an issue, to your healthcare, to, this isn't going away, to Charlie Kirk. I mean, this is not going away. Um, and Kirk wasn't a firm believer in Israel being all that, which is partially why he had issues. And I think he would be okay with releasing this list. And
He had called for it, yeah.
probably part of what got him into trouble.
Could be, yeah. I mean, I would not be surprised. I wouldn't put anything past these people, you know, just
When you
I
have
would
this
not.
extreme wealth, you can't relate to people when you're this wealthy. When you have $1 trillion between a handful of people, this is what you
Yeah,
get.
and you spend your days thinking about ways to get more wealth. I don't get it. How much can you spend? How much happiness is this really bringing you? These are, I think deep down, a lot of these people are just miserable people.
Well,
I
they're
mean,
showing that.
yeah, I mean, some people define the meaning of abundance as having what you need when you need it. It's pretty simple. You don't need a warehouse full of cash, and you're going to go out and bring down a country and destroy people's lives because it's not quite enough. I've got to have more. I mean, how hollow do you have to be inside to even think that way? It's just ridiculous. When you're hoarding, generational wealth, and you've got people living maybe just a few miles away who are starving, living hand to mouth, paycheck to paycheck, losing their homes, losing their health care, and you don't care. That's just sad. It's pathetic.
Well, they're kind of hollowing out our nation. And when you talk about some of the areas with poorer individuals, we're taking away the safety net for them too. I mean, we talked about the EPA and the rules that they're taking off about polluting. One
Hmm.
thing I saw today was we took a $14 million grant away from, I believe it was Louisiana. We had talked about this several months ago, where they kept having their raw sewage kept coming into their yards. Do you remember that? We had
Hmm.
photos of people. They don't have inside plumbing. And then because of the lack of septic systems, they literally have human feces all in their yards that they have to get rid of. That grant was taken away. Any factories that are near poor neighborhoods, all those restrictions taken off. And this was just in the last day that they started doing this. So we talked about that story months ago as far as the sanitation. Um, People want to help. There's money there to help. Now we take it away.
Yeah, it's just pathetic. I mean, look at all the food that they completely
USA.
incinerated.
Yep.
Nobody get it's mean spirited, and it's just it's despicable. I don't
Your word,
understand it at all.
cruelty. Goes to the
That's the
point of,
point.
yeah. And I guess when you have enough, that's what you turn to, because you get your jollies off on that. If it's not, innocent youth in this country, then let's just make people painful and hurt. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I don't understand that mentality at all. I mean, you'd think it would make you feel good when you have that money to spread it around and do some good with it. You'd think it would give you a boost and just make you feel, like you're actually helping out,
Well,
doing something positive.
you see those TikTok videos where the person cuts in line, right? And everybody's like looking at him like, "What are you doing, man? You just cut in front of me." And then he pays for their groceries. Or the old woman that's fishing for her pocketbook, and the guy's behind her pays for her groceries. And then I'll read the comments, and people are like, "You know what? I wish I had that kind of money where I could help people out, where I could
Yeah,
do that, where I could take a day and make people's lives better." You know what kind of power comes with that? I think it'd be incredible.
I think it would be too. I would love to be able to do that, to be in a position to do that. I mean, and when you are and you don't do it, like in the words of Roberto Clemente, you're just wasting your time here on this earth.
Yeah. Hopefully, for some of these people, it's a limited time.
Mm.
Uh, I think that was a lot. That was 50 minutes of a lot of information. I do want to. I do have a happy ending that has to do with healthcare. We
All
talked
right.
about the kissing bug. Um, they tell you not to really worry about it. But when we talked, it was, I want to say 14 states below in the southern half of our country. Now we're up to Pennsylvania
Holy shit.
and across. So it's out there. I wouldn't worry too much, but be aware of the symptoms. It is in Missouri, so be on your toes. But to that point, with healthcare, this was official today. Connecticut, Maine, Massachusetts, New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, New York City have formed the Northeast Public Health Collaborative. So they're going to issue their own vaccine recommendations and coordinate with on public health issues, which is pretty amazing.
That is pretty amazing, and I think you're going to see more of that with states taking matters into their own hands and cooperating with each other. And yeah, I think that's a good thing.
Well, and the trend started the West Coast Health Alliance, which is Washington, Oregon, and California, will be doing the same thing. It's important. You can bury your head in the sand as you're getting measles. Herd immunity for many of the diseases that we had taken care of.
Well, Shay definitely feels strong about that.
Measles in particular, we don't have that herd immunity because not enough people are getting inoculated. It's the first time in a long time. So, be careful. We went through this with COVID. Don't touch your eyes, don't touch your face, wash your hands. If you're immunocompromised, wear a mask. There's no shame in that, even though they tried to make it kind of a thing.
Oh, I know. Well, now ICE has made wearing a mask cool again, baby.
Yeah, basically you're on your own. So take care of yourself and look out for one another if you can. But
yeah,
my happy ending is that we are moving forward on the healthcare front to try and take care of large swaths of the country are going to band together, because it's going to be state on state. Missouri doesn't care. One last thing I will say is today, as a matter of fact, we know that Trump tried to gerrymander Indiana. People showed up at the Indiana State House today, really pissed off. People don't want it.
yeah.
They were able to do this in Texas because they feel like they had the Hispanic vote. He's underwater about 32% from where he was with Hispanics.
Oh my God, how can it not be? I can't believe it's only 32%. You would think it would be
Underwater.
like 99.9%.
Yeah, agreed. But a big change. So I think they're trying all this gerrymandering, and they think it's going to help hold seats in the House. But all it's really doing is waking people up to say, hey, this isn't your job to change this. It's every decade based on population. It's not something you do 5 years in to gain more power. And people are slow to it, but they're catching on pretty quickly. So
yeah,
we'll see if the same thing happens in Missouri, because we have the same thing going on. And there is some pushback so far. So let's keep that going and pay attention, people. It's important.
Yeah, pay attention, and talk to your neighbor, get to know people, and just call your representatives.
Yeah, don't forget to call, because Josh Hawley's now flip-flop back. He's got all kinds of terrible ideas. So for the one that you said, hey, maybe he knew they had the votes, so it's okay with sharing the list. Now he's back to taking down free speech and things. So
yeah, not a trustworthy person. And every time I call his office, you get the voicemail.
Yeah,
doesn't matter. They're not answering the phone.
He's in Virginia. Who cares?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. That guy is not trustworthy.
Absolutely. Well, Billy, I appreciate your time today and getting through this with me. And we'll see if we'll be back in a couple of days. Otherwise, we'll start next week. But
okay,
let's see how today goes first. All right.
All right. Yep. One day at a time.
One day at a time. Can't do anything but. I'll talk at you later. Friday, Thursday. Nice try.